In the
This
last
conference
session,
will now be recorded.
we were discussing about customer master, sales area data. We finished discussing about the sales tab. Today, we'll discuss about the other tabs in the customer master, and PEP will finish the customer master topic today. XD02. How we going to discuss customer? So sales area data, and we have finished discussing about the fields here in the sales tab. So today let's go ahead with this particular shipping tab. So the first field here in the shipping tab is delivery priority. So delivery priority, it's one of the parameter. Okay, there is a concept called as backorder processing. Backorder processing means canceling the confirmed quantity of low priority customers and giving it to the high priority customers. Canceling the confirmed quantity of low priority customers and giving it to high priority customers. But how do system know, or how do we know which is the low priority and which is the high priority? That is through this field, that is delivery priority. So here where we tell system whether this customer is a high priority customer or a low priority customer or a medium priority customer. So how do we mention that? That is through this field. And this field will help us to do the backorder processing. So that we'll discuss later when it comes to the availability check concept. What is backorder processing? But delivery priority is one of the parameter, or it's one of the soft sequence to decide like whether customer is a high priority or medium priority or low priority. The next is shipping condition. Shipping condition. So I'll tell you 3 questions, and out of that, 1 question for sure it will be in the interview. Okay. So whenever I say an interview question, that's 100% for interview question. Okay. So this question I tell in every batch, and for sure they'll be asking this question in the interview. So at the time of enterprise structure, we have discussed about a concept called a shipping point, right? So when we create a sales order, how this shipping point is coming into the sales document? How the shipping point is coming into the sales document. So the shipping point is coming into sales document with shipping point determination. There is a concept called as shipping point determination. And what are the parameters for shipping point determination? OVL2 is the transaction for shipping point determination. The T code is very important. So they may ask you in interviews, what is the T code for shipping point determination, OVL2? What is the parameters to determine shipping point into sales document? There are 3 parameters: shipping condition, loading group, and plant. Shipping condition, loading group, and plant. You see this field, shipping condition, from where system is considering this shipping condition? That is here, you see. So what is shipping condition? It is one of the parameter to determine sales document into, the shipping point into sales documents. One of the parameter to determine shipping point into sales document, right? So these 3 questions. What is the T code for shipping point determination? What are the parameters for determining a shipping point into sales document? Or what is shipping condition? Very, very important interview questions. The next is delivering plan. Again, this question is very, very, very important. How plan determines into sales document. Okay, how plant determines into sales document. So why we are spending this much of time in maintaining this master data? Because later when user is creating an order, we don't want user to enter manually all this data, right? So that's the reason we are spending some good time and maintaining all the data so that whenever user enters the sold to party, all the data in the customer master will be automatically copied into the sales document, right? So when we create a sales document, automatically the plant will be determined into the sales document. So from where system is considering this plant, that means the question is in the interviews also they ask this question. What is the criteria to determine plant into sales document? So what is the criteria? First, system will check. You see this field, delivering plant, the similar kind of field, it's also there in the CMIR. So first, system will check in CMIR. If it's not available, then system will come here into the customer master. It will check here. If it is also not maintained here, then system will go to material master. In material master also, we have similar field called as delivering plant. Then it will go to the material master. If it's not available there, then system will throw a error. So what is the criteria to determine plant into sales document? The criteria to determine plant into sales document is CMIR and customer master, then material master. That's very important. Then relevant for POD. POD means proof of delivery. Okay, POD means proof of delivery. And this proof of delivery is not relevant for every customer or every business. This scenario is used only in particular kind of businesses where the delivery quantity and unloaded quantity will have a variation, either because of the material properties, right, or for any reason, the delivered quantities and customer received or unloaded quantity. Okay, if there is a discrepancy, then this POD would be helpful. Like materials like air jet fuels, the fuel which is used in airplanes. It's having a very high evaporation rate. Let's say you deliver 10,000 liters, it's not guaranteed that customer will receive the same 10,000 liters because it has a transit loss, right? Because of its nature of the material, it has a transit loss, right? So now for what quantity we will bill the customer? Let's say business has delivered 10,000 liters and customer has received only 9,990 liters. That means there is 10 liter shortage. So for what quantity we should bill customer now? Anyone? Delivered quantity or received quantity?
Received.
9,990.
Right. So the
Received.
first thing is, if customer is relevant for POD, system will not allow you to bill the customer. Okay. If the relevant for POD is active for customer, system will not allow us to bill the customer until we receive the POD from the customer. Customer has to download the goods and send us POD of what is received by customer. Then only system will allow us to bill the customer. So if for any customer, if POD is active, then system will not allow us to bill the customer until we receive the POD from the customer. What if customer failed to send the POD? It's been 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, 1 month. If customer failed to send the POD, because until unless POD, system will not allow us to bill the customer, right? So if customer don't send the POD, then so we have POD time frame. If we could mention maybe 15 days. If customer failed to send the POD within this number of days, then system will allow us to bill the customer. For what quantity? Anyone?
Delivery quantity.
Delivered quantity.
For
Okay.
10,000.
System will allow us to create invoice for delivered quantity. If customer has sent the POD, then how do you capture that into the system? Because we delivered 10,000 liters, but customer received a 9,990 liters. So how do we capture that into the system? The T code for POD is to capture the POD is VLPOD, very important transaction. In one interview, they asked 4 questions only on POD. Only on POD, they asked 4 questions. Okay. So how do you see proof of delivery? Change outbound delivery. So whatever the delivery we have done with 10,000 liters, you open the delivery document here, and then we change that particular to 9990. That's how we capture the POD. So that is POD. But once you try the scenario, you again uncheck this. If not, every time system will stop you saying that enter POD. Without POD, system will not allow you to proceed further. Every time it will stop you. So once you try the scenario, remove this checkbox. Then complete delivery required. Complete delivery required. That means if customer place order for 100 quantity, now 80 quantity is available with you today, and 20 quantity maybe it will be available in the next 2 days. But it's not possible even to deliver that 80 quantity which is available today. If you want to do a delivery, you have to do the complete delivery. That means if I activate this particular checkbox, complete delivery required, system will not allow to initiate partial delivery. At any time you do a delivery, it should be complete. Even 99 quantity is available. System will not allow you to do partial delivery. You have to deliver whatever customer ordered, that is 100 quantity. But if customer allows you to do partial delivery, and as I told you, whatever the data you see here in the screen, it is applicable only to this customer. These all parameters, whatever we are maintaining, it is applicable to only this customer. It doesn't mean the same thing should be applicable for other customers also. Other customer requirement be different. Okay, we have missed this field. Order combination. Order combination is if there are 10 orders from the same customer, do you want this all 10 orders to be combined and delivered? Okay, order combination means whether system should allow to combine multiple orders and deliver, right? So for that, you need to take a consent from the customer. If it's okay, then you activate order combination. Then only system will allow you to combine multiple orders into a single delivery, right? So it doesn't mean it has to be applicable for every customer. It's up to the customer. Whatever may maintain here, this is applicable only to this customer. You open another customer, that customer preferences and everything will be different, right? So the partial delivery, if it is partial delivery okay for the customer, then we maintain here. You leave this field blank. That means you are telling system partial delivery allowed. Okay, partial delivery is allowed. Partial delivery is allowed, but how many partial deliveries you will do? So the maximum per item in sales order, you can have 100 items. You can have laptop, you can have table, you can have bag. Like this, you can have 100 items. So per item, maximum is only 9 partial deliveries allowed. Okay, not anything more than this. Maximum is only 9. Okay. Then next, tolerances. Tolerances. So what is tolerance? Tolerance is deviation. Okay. Tolerance means deviation. So what deviation you can take from the customer ordered quantity? Okay. What is the deviation you can take from the customer ordered quantity? Excuse me 1 minute, everyone.
Hello.
Excuse me. Yeah, sorry everyone. Yeah, so let's go ahead. So tolerances. Tolerances is nothing but deviations. Okay. So what deviation you can take from the customer ordered quantity? Let's say customer ordered 100 quantity. These are pre-negotiated deviations. For this, you again don't need to contact customer. So if customer ordered 100 quantity, on the higher side, I'll put it as 10%, and the lower side also I'll put 10%. That means higher side I can deliver 110 quantity, lower side I can deliver 90 quantity. These are in percentages. So what deviation I can take from the customer ordered quantity that is defined here with tolerance. Tolerance means deviations, right? So this is what we have in the shipping tab. Then next, let's move on to the billing tab. So the first field here in the billing tab is let me quickly connect. Invoicing date. So this is the first field here in the billing tab. Invoicing dates is, this is again a calendar. If you open this, you see this is again a calendar, invoicing dates. And what is the T code to create invoicing dates? OVR4. Okay, customer calendar is OVR3, right? This is OVR4. And what is invoicing dates? Invoicing dates is on what date we have to raise the invoice to the customer. Just excuse me one moment, please. Sorry, everyone. Actually, I ordered some furniture and this guy could not find my location, so I need to guide him. Sorry about that. Yeah. So invoicing dates. Invoicing dates is on what date we have to send the invoice to customer. Okay. On what date we have to send the invoice to customer. Let's say whatever the deliveries, that means whatever the transactions we have done with the customer. Okay. Whatever the transactions we have done with the customer, but invoice has to be sent only on particular day. Let's say 25th of every month. You might have done 100 deliveries before 1 to 20, in between month of in a month 1 to 20. You might have done 100 deliveries, but invoice should be sent only on 25th of every month. Okay. So how do we tell system that is invoicing dates? We configure a calendar and tell system that invoice has to be raised only on this 25th of every month. And how do we create this particular invoice? That this is also called as billing schedule. This is also called as billing schedule. Either you could access that through T code, or you could access through menu path. So if it is menu path, then OVR4 is the menu path. And if it is, sorry, if the T code OVR4, menu path is SPRO, IMG, and sales and distribution, then master data, then business partner, customer, under billing. We are now discussing about billing, right? When you go to the billing, here you see billing schedule. And when you open this will take, it is just like a factory calendar again, but the T code is OVR4, which is for billing schedule. So here where we tell system that when the invoice has to be sent to the customer, maybe it will again block me. Let me go back. SM12. Yeah, it's blocking me. Next is 02. So that is billing schedule, which tells system that when the invoice has to be sent to the customer on what particular day. Doesn't matter what or the time you do the delivery in a month, but invoice has to be only sent on particular day. You could configure it. Then invoicing list dates. Invoicing list dates will help us to consolidate multiple invoices of a single customer into a single invoice. Let's say if there are 100 invoices pending to be sent to the customer. So rather than sending that 100 invoices, what we can do is we can combine all those invoices into a single invoice and send it to the customer. So how do we combine that? That is user activity. This is VF21. VF21 in create invoice list. Okay. So using this particular transaction, VF21, we can create a invoice list. That means we can combine multiple invoices of a customer into a single invoice and send it. The next Incoterms, that is international commercial terms. Okay, Incoterms means international commercial terms. Wherever you have a cross-border transactions, imports and exports, right? So those all places you will be seeing this Incoterms. Incoterms is not specific to SAP. Incoterms is in any business wherever we have cross-border, that is imports and exports. But what way this will help us? Okay, what way this Incoterms will help us in international commercial terms? That is, I'll tell you a simple example. Let's say you want to buy some material. Okay, you want to buy some material on Amazon. It is saying that $100 and delivery cost is $30. You are waiting for a good deal. On one day, you have seen there is no delivery cost. So you just paid $100 and you buy it. But at the time of delivery, it says that there is no free delivery and you have to pay the delivery. Will you accept this product or you will return it? Anyone?
Definitely return.
You'll return it, right? You'll return it. Why you are returning here? What is the reason?
Finally, we have to pay $30.
Right? The shipping terms are not clear, right? The shipping terms are not clear. At the time of order, it says that there is no shipping, but when you place an order and when you receive the product, it says that there is a shipping cost. That means the shipment terms are not clear, so that the shipment has failed. The same thing happens even in the cross-border transactions as well. So this Incoterm, international commercial terms, will put the guidelines saying that who is responsible for what, who should pay for the delivery cost, whether the business or the customer, who will pay for the loading cost, or who will pay for the insurance cost. So this all will be defined. CIF, charges, insurance and freight, customer has to pay. FOB, free on board. That means business will pay this all things. Business will pay charges, insurance and freight. COD, cash on delivery, X works. Right from the plant, it is calculated, X works from plant, right? So this is how these Incoterms are set up. The guidelines has been put down saying that um, who is responsible for, and see, this is not specific to SAP. You just type Incoterms in Google, you will see that it is an international standard. Okay. And any Incoterms will have two parts, part one and part two. Part one Incoterm will tell who is responsible for what, or it will put the shipping guidelines. And part two will tell what is the destination of the customer. General data. What is the destination of the customer? Customer belongs to city Berlin, right? Berlin. You see here, customer belongs to Berlin. That means what is the destination city of the customer? Because if you want to calculate the freight, anything else, how do you know that? That has to be calculated based on the customer destination, right? So part one will tell who is responsible for what, and part two tells that what is the destination of the customer. Based on that, you can calculate. Then next is terms of payment, or we can also call it as credit period. So as you know, majority of the businesses runs on credit, right? Majority of the businesses runs on credit. So here we are telling system that you get 45 days due net time. That means customer can pay. Once we raise invoice to the customer, customer can pay in 45 days. But we are encouraging customers to pay in advance because every business need cash flow. So we are encouraging customers to pay in advance and telling that you pay in 30 days, you will get 2% cash discount. You pay in 14 days, you get 3% cash discount. This discount is called as cash discount, and this discount is called as after tax discount. Okay, cash discount is also is called as a after tax discount because see, we already raised the invoice to the customer. On that again, we are giving discount, right? So this is called as after tax discount. Payment terms. So where do we configure that? There are a couple of important terminology we need to learn here in this particular payment terms. How do you configure these payment terms? SPRO, ING, sales and distribution, and master data, business partner, customer, then billing and payment terms. So when you go to the screen here, you could see all the terms has been put down. So there are various terms identified by this name. So you see this baseline date. What it says, baseline date. What is baseline date? You see, baseline date is 30th of every month, fixed day, 30. That means we have discussed, right? Billing schedule. Doesn't matter what are the deliveries you do in a month, but invoice has to be sent only on 30 of the month. Baseline date is nothing but it can be today's date or invoice creation date, because from that date we need to calculate the 45 days, right? From which date system has to calculate the 45 days? This 45 days, that is 30th of every month. That is the baseline date. So if yeah, this is one terminology you should know. What is baseline date? Baseline date can be today's date or invoice creation date. So baseline date is 30 and the credit period is 45 days. But you pay in 30 days, customer will get 1.5% discount. 14 days, 2% discount. Here where we put it. You see, 45 days is the credit period. Pay in 30 days, you get this discount. 14 days, you get this discount, right? But this 45 days has to be calculated from when? That is from fixed date. 30th of every month, you have to calculate 45 days. And if you want to give more additional credit period, then you can give in months. Let's say I put 2 months. That means if you do a delivery on 15th, then system will wait until 30 to raise the invoice plus 45 days plus 2 months. This many days system will give the credit, right? 45 days plus 2 months, fixed date. On every month 30, the invoice will be triggered plus 45 days plus 2 months, right? So these three terminologies are important. That is baseline date, fixed date, and additional months. And these three fields are also called as critical fields. In the sales order, these three fields are called as critical fields, and you cannot touch this critical. That means users cannot touch these critical fields. If user tries to touch any of these critical fields, system will block the sales orders. System will not allow to proceed, right? Then next is payment guarantee, means if this is a risky customer or export customer. So let's take some assurance like in letter of credit or payment cards, bank guarantee. Whether if this customer is eligible that for that, then account assignment group. Account assignment group, that is as of now only definition. It's one of the parameter which will help us to determine revenue GL accounts. Okay, it's one of the parameter which will help us to determine revenue GL accounts. Yesterday we discussed, right, whenever we raise invoice to the customer, there will be an accounting entry that is customer account debit to revenue account credit. How system posts that into the revenue credit? There are various parameters. Out of that, this is one parameter. That means with this parameter, what we could do is we can differentiate our revenues, domestic revenues, foreign revenues, affiliate revenues, online revenues. Like this, you could differentiate the revenues and post it in different books. Right. The next taxes. What tax this customer will pay? That means whether this customer is full tax, whether this customer is half tax or no tax, depending upon where the customer location is, because governments encourage businesses to set up their plants, right? Some plants might be in SEZ, that is special economic zones. Some plants might be in EOUs, export oriented units. Basing upon the location, the plant, there will be various taxation. So whether the customer is tax exempt, usually EOUs are fully tax exempt, okay, or full tax, no tax, like this will have a option. So for this customer, what it is, this all information will be given by business. Business will do this. We don't maintain this. This is a master data, right? So this is what we have in the billing document, right? So we'll do one thing, we'll stop it here today, and the partner functions will continue tomorrow, because anyway, time will not be enough for us to finish this today. This require at least 30 to 40 minutes time. So with that, we'll finish the complete customer master. So this is called as PDP, Partner Determination Procedure. This concept is called as Partner Determination Procedure. This is the first basic configuration what we'll see in the system. This is one of the basic functions in the system. Yeah. So any questions for today, please go ahead. And I hope you got the new access from the server provider. Any issues, let me know, or you can pass to that Himanshu so that he could fix the issues. And speed up your preparations, because I'm still getting queries you are stuck up in enterprise structure. Because once we finish this customer master, the next two sessions will discuss middle master. So every day we are adding up content. You need to come out of enterprise structure. You need to start custom master. If not, you cannot catch the pace later. Yeah. Any questions, please go ahead.
Praveen, in the COD for customer, can we maintain the metal wise or we can maintain only the customer wise?
POD, proof of delivery.
Yes. The particular customer which we
The
are
customer level,
buying,
we activate.
that
Yeah.
metal wise
It's
also
not
we
at the
can
material. It
maintain.
is at the customer level. No. POD is only at the customer level. Okay.
Sir, regarding payment, if any customer doing payment within 15 days, so discount is 3%. That should be given on
Yes.
where?
In the pricing,
This
we'll learn about this.
this
In the pricing concept, we'll learn about this. Yeah, good.
means 3% given in this invoice only, billing only, or another one.
No. At any time, any invoice customer pays within 14 days, he will be eligible for 3% discount. 1 invoices, 10 invoices, 100 invoices, doesn't matter. If customer pays within 14 days, he will always get 3% discount. It is not restricted for a single invoice. Okay. This all fields, whatever we are discussing now, again, they will be repeated in various concepts, either at the time of order creation, backorder processing, I told you, right? There again, we'll see backorder process. In terms of payment, again, we'll see this credit control area, this account assignment group. This all fields, whatever we're discussing now, this will again repeat wherever it has to be reflected. Okay, so we'll call it a day today, catch up tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll continue with PDP, partner determination procedure. One of the nightmare concept even for a working consultant. If you understand the logic, that's the most easiest concept. For us, that will be very easy concept, don't worry. But this concept is really considered as one of the nightmare for working consultants. That tough it will be if you don't understand logic. But for us, it's pretty easy, don't worry. So good everyone, and I'll catch up tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll discuss about PDP. Good day. Bye-bye.